Well, it's also the birthday of one of our own, Beryl Ernestina Richter, and I want to wish you the best of the day and say that God should richly enrich your life, always. Talking about it, she's a great young woman as well. And talking about women and men, there are related issues we've discussed here on the show about cervical cancer. And one of our ambassadors in Ghana is Mama Vio Sabwaji, who currently has now gotten the opportunity to work with the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. And I think that they'll find you very useful and a great advocate.
Are you building on my CV?
Yeah, I think
well,
that's a good thing you do for society. You're just telling me it's the approach to you because of...
well, because we've been obviously involved in the cancer conversation. So I am a face of cervical cancer for the oncology department of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital with our colleague who is on Adom TV, Efia Amankwa Tamaklo. So the two of us will join the oncology department. They've got some incredible lineup. You know, we've been doing the cervical cancer screening here in Accra last month, in the month of February, in the month of love. The Rich Hospital, the Accra Regional Hospital, did a whole month-long free screening. So it's, you know, almost like a similar thing, but there's more to what's happening at Konfanochi, and we'll find time and talk about it. Definitely. Because it's not just the walk. So we have a walk on the 21st of March. And the theme is service your cervix.
Service your cervix.
Exactly, service your cervix.
If you want to translate that to tree.
Well, we're not on Adom TV, so we don't have to do that. So we stick to service your cervix. That's the theme for the Konfanochi bits of the cervical cancer. It's a walk. So it's a walk, and then it would also continuing after the walk will be a number of screening in different centers. So that's why I said we have a full conversation. And then Konfanochi has also been selected. There's something going to happen in the Ashanti region that will also come up. Maybe I could just share a bit of it for you in the letter that they sent to me. So Kumasi has been selected by the Union for International Cancer Control, an affiliate body of the World Health Organization, as a cancer treatment city in Africa. And so this work that we will have will also outline the plans for the center that's going to be built in Kumasi. So congratulations to, you know, Konfanochi Teaching Hospital and all the gentlemen and women at the oncology department. Well, thank you for the nomination to be the face of cervical cancer. So we'll be in Kumasi, God willing.
I love the way you've dressed today.
Yeah.
A true ambassador.
Come with me to Kumasi.
Yeah, anytime.
Come with me to Kumasi. So the people of Kumasi, watch out. If you're Mankwata Maklo and myself will be in Kumasi, God willing, the Saturday 21st of March for that walk, and we're all servicing our cervix. That's the theme. I like that very much. Yes, service your cervix. Yeah.
Well, I have to say good morning to all lecturers of KNUST, and especially my good friend and our good brother, Dr. Edward Brainer. Good morning to you as well. But you want to quickly look at the
I wanted to say good morning to Dr. Eric Addison, who's
Philip Addison's brother.
Oh, Roland, I don't know if there's a connection. He's the head of medical physicists at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, exactly. And he's the chairman of the local planning committee for this work and this cervical cancer, exactly what I've been talking about. There will be more, particularly next week, which will be leading to the walk on Saturday. So let's concentrate now on the newspapers. I'll do the Finder, the Times, the Daily Graphic, the Daily Statesman, quite a bit. The Observer is here, the new publisher and the Ghanaian publisher. So let's begin with the Finder newspaper. Front page of the Finder: President suspends all official travels as an additional measure to prevent coronavirus. Dr. Awal urges Northern Ghana to give Nana Addo 4 more years. Calls for immediate fuel price reductions, misplaced, premature. That's according to the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampoli. Kweku Bako endorses Dr. Sibe Yeboah for New Jabin South. Now, that's a seat to look out for. We talked about it. Rhoda and I discussed this because the CEO of the Free Zones Authority is also very much...
Yeah, he's one of the, I think, the other contestants, or the main contestant alongside the incumbent.
Exactly.
Dr. Makasibe.
Yeah.
And you know, prior to this, the observation that all of us picked up was that when, it's called Dr. Befi also,
yes.
Mr. Befi,
no, yeah.
when he conducts, let's say, health screening, etc., or even health walk, or just a normal fitness walk, you remember there was an event that Kwesi Appiah went to in Kofodia or someplace like that? He was the one. And at that event, we had party executives, national party executives.
Yeah.
Now, the observation will be that it looks like his favorite, you know, etc. But now we're having a big...
well, I guess the thing is when you sit in Accra, it's easy for you to think that you know who is probably leading or who is getting the hype and the vibe. Yeah, but you know,
we'll see how that goes, because one of the keenly contested seats we're looking at in our watch
in the primaries. Absolutely,
the April 25.
Yeah, it's turning out to be a very interesting constituency, so we'll keep an eye on this place, New Jabin South.
That place, we have Bantama, we also do have...
yeah, Bantama as well, yeah. All right, let's do the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Front page of the Times, introduction of a universal QR code, Ghana pushing towards cashless state, according to Vice President. Business Development Ministry announces 10 million Ghana cedis package for 10,000 youth in northern Ghana. Also, we will export $1 billion horticultural produce to EU market in 6 years, says the Agric Minister, who had his turn at the meets the press. COVID-19, President suspends foreign travels for public officials. Police gunned down 2 suspected armed robbers at Mankasim. This happened on Sunday. It was a shootout with the police at Mankasim in the central region. In the center spread of the paper, Ghana pushing towards cashless state. Details of that story and all the other headlines on the front page. So let's do the back page. Some sports. Oli Hart charged to set Accra alight. It's a clash to determine who emerges as the legitimate landlords of Accra. Hearts of Folk confronts local rivals, Great Olympics, in the local derby at the Accra Stadium, and it definitely will have to be Hearts of Folk. Yeah, I'm not sure I said that confidently though, because you know.
Yeah, but it looks like it should be Hearts of Folk, even though my friend Ato Coleman will disagree with you.
They can break your hearts. Also, Black Queens thrash Kenya 3-1 in Turkish Cup. But that brings to mind the latest move by the Kenyan authorities suspending travels for all athletes. They're not taking part in any competition going forward in Kenya. They haven't recorded a case of the COVID-19, but they're taking steps. I mean, like they're on really high alerts. So let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Daily Graphic. President hails Graphic for living up to mandate. Tests COA FS efficacy over COVID-19. Manufacturer appeals to government. We'll see what that's all about on page 20. Don't leave Galamsey fighter politicians alone, Apostle Nyamiche tells Ghanaians. By the banner headline, President orders no travel for public officials, measure to prevent COVID-19. I've heard some critics say, in the meantime, people are traveling to other places and coming back in the country. The fact that our officials are not necessarily traveling does not mean that if somebody won't bring the virus into Ghana, they cannot, because it's still very much open in terms of the travels. We know there's a ban on travelers coming particularly from Wuhan, but in other places in Europe, Italy is the most dangerous in terms of how widely the virus has spread in Europe. Well, we still have flights coming from Italy, don't we?
But if we have to take into cognizance what happened over the last 24 hours in terms of the report, where junior health minister in the UK attended a number of events, and after that felt unwell, and then she tested positive, you can be in country, but you attend official functions or ceremonies, because you interact with many people, you don't know how long they had traveled and from where they're coming from before you met. So that is why perhaps we want to put into perspective the president's directive. Of course, it's coming from the chief of staff because she manages all the related issues of the presidency. But we have to put things into perspective. Look, we know that we have over nearly 3 million people traveling through the Kotoka International Airport over the last 12 months or a year before. That's the official figures of the travel throughput in and out. And they just, officials traveling just from a fraction, you know, a minute fraction actually. So what is the general directive towards in and out travels in our country, both at the airport and then the seaport and the land ports? You know, we have to put all these into a bigger picture to say that if somebody takes a bus to Kumasi on a VIP or any of those long haul buses or even the shorter buses, so to speak, but meets a tourist who is coughing and obviously may have returned or come to Ghana not too long ago, what do we do? Yeah. You know, those are the things that you and I have fought over, but look.
We're not fighting over anything. I shared the angle of government, and I mentioned what some critics have said. So I don't know what we are fighting over. Are we fighting over anything here?
Let's not start it. So what are we looking at?
I'm looking at a bit of details of the story on page 20 about a test of is it core FC efficacy over COVID-19? I thought a bit wouldn't be bad. So the manufacturer of an immune booster and viral load suppressor Center of Awareness has called on the government to assist with scientific confirmation of the potential of the supplement to suppress COVID-19 to boost national preparedness to prevent an outbreak of the disease in Ghana. It said certified by the Food and Drugs Authority, FS rather, which is currently undergoing further scientific investigation locally and internationally to establish its efficacy to cure the human immunodeficiency virus and other viruses, could also be a potential solution to COVID-19. All right, so I see a smart move because this has obviously become very topical for us to pay attention to something that is being developed that's going under testing. Absolutely, the world is looking for a cure. The world is looking for a solution to a virus that's spreading like wildfire. So why not? If there's something, you know, that's available here, which is going through the processes, if there's a way to speed it up so that we can actually test if it can be a real solution to this virus, I guess it deserves a lot of attention. So let's see how far this goes. Also, Cocoa Board supplies farmers with pruners. In the center spread of the paper, well, the Cocoa Board story is here, but also in the center spread is financial inclusion leads to stability. That's according to the Vice President. There's a graphic that goes with the story in the center spread, a graph rather, total volume of transactions, total value of transactions. It talks about the Vice President saying that recent research has established that advancing financial inclusion through electronic payments, deposit or insurance has positive effects on financial stability. The research jointly conducted by the IMF and the World Bank further suggested that ignoring the link between financial inclusion and financial stability could culminate in costly financial crisis and hold back growth. Also, Ghana rated high in food security. A 2019 Global Food Security Index has scored Ghana's agricultural flagship program, Planting for Food and Jobs, 100% for its ability to change the average cost of food. Back page, pressure mounts on OMCs to reduce fuel prices in the country. Well, the changes that is making people call for this include the continuous fall in the price of crude oil on the international market and the stability of the local currency against the US dollar. Transport owners, driver associations and think tanks within the industry under the umbrella body, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, argue that the silence over the matter by the OMCs was not the best. Using some numbers to back their call, they said, for instance, that between January and March 6 this year, gasoline prices are declined from $612 per ton to $496 per ton, while gas oil dipped from over $617 to the current $502 per ton. So you see the dates and the prices, which shows how the prices have fallen over the period, and that's a justification for the prices to be reduced when ordinarily you and I go to the pumps to buy fuel. So OMCs and BDCs must at all times ensure that local pump prices reflect the reality, as they always seem to do when prices point to increases, in the spirit of fairness to the Ghanaian consumer and in a full price deregulated environment in practice currently. I tell you what, the silence doesn't help if you're not doing it and the prices are still the same because you want to use the extras for something you've got to communicate. I think that the silence doesn't help. I like the efforts that Mr. Duncan Amwa and COPEC is trying to put in this direction. All right, let's do the New Publisher newspaper. Front page of the New Publisher. MP's ghost chasers killer. Suspect says he was paid 200,000 Ghana cedis. That's the member of parliament, remember, then, who was killed in his home. Well, that's an update of that court's appearance on page 6 in the New Publisher. See if I can share a bit with you. Also, government investing heavily in educational infrastructure, according to the president. And NDC government won't let Ghanaians down, according to former President Mahama. Minister smears Nanato with sticky Unipass Ghana Link deal. Simple questions Dr. Baumia must answer on Ghana Link Unipass deal. If you've been following that story, you might want to check out what questions they have. But this story about MP's ghost-chasing killer, one of the two suspects hauled before the Accra High Court over the matter of J.B. Danko Edu yesterday, broke down in tears, saying he has not been able to sleep for some time now. Daniel Esiedu said it was proven difficult to find sleep at night because the ghost of the slain former Abuakwa North MP keeps terrorizing him. He also begged the court presided over Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo to discharge the other accused person, Vincent Bosu, aka Junior Agogo, singing. So the suspect, whose lawyer, Augustine Obuo, was not in court as at the time of the confession, disclosed that he was paid some 200,000 Ghana cedis as part payment for the murder of the former Abuakwa North Member of Parliament. He insisted that he was contracted by persons with political connections to kill the MP with a promise they would get him off the hook once they gain political power. He added, persons have since abandoned him, and with his sleepless nights now turning into a burden, he has no option than to confess again. He further claimed that persons within the house opened the gates and allowed him into the house to carry out the act, disputing claims that he jumped the wall into the house to kill the MP. So a lot of the things that he had to say, one of the accused in court in the paper. Just real quick, I'm just going to run through the rest of the headlines. The Daily Statesman, First Lady assists 180 women with startup work and kits. No foreign travels. President directs appointees due to coronavirus scare. Reconciliation Committee, Patriotism, John Boydu Lot's Ashanti NPP for successful voting. The Ghanaian Publisher, Kweku Bako, endorses Sibe Yeboah, Chief of Staff hails Johnson Sirleaf as the pioneer of Africa's strong women. Government bringing Keta Port alive, according to Transport Minister. Ekufuor imposes travel ban on officials. The Ghanaian Observer. Government readies for COVID-19 crisis as Ekufuor suspends foreign travels for all public officials. Region debate over new voters register. PPP scribe jabs Imani boss. Sanitation groups urge government to attend to the cry of waste managers. Well, plenty more headlines, but Roland's got to take over.
Yeah, let's do the custodian. Has on the front page Ashanti MPP stops 9 MP aspirants, and this was contained in a memo from the party, and this just also has been further elaborated in this story. It says 12 females, though, and 19 males go through. We have a number of individuals. Incumbent Isaac Kwame Siama of Atrimampunia also going unopposed. We have also Emmanuel Eje Anure, Ikriman with Bieja South, I hope I pronounce it. And then we also do have Swami, and it's where we have the majority leaders, HMN Sabonsu going unopposed. Minshia, Matthew Opoku Prempe. We also have George Oduro of New Edupiasi and a number of others. But Kwai also has Joe Osewusu going unopposed. Okay. There are some 2-horse races, though, in a number of them as well. Also on the front page of the Custodian has MPA boss jabs NDC over fuel prices. It has an attack picture of Hassan Tampoli, the MPA boss. Beside it, we have Kweku Bako endorses Asibeya Boa for new grabbing South. Yeah, if you have the endorsement of Kweku Bako, speaks volumes. Ekufuado bans foreign travels, also on the front page of the Custodian. Let's go to the Daily Guide. I'll ask people before we look at myjoyonline.com. JB's goes chasing me, according to the suspects. And then we do have Ghana's food security improves. Front page of the Daily Guide. Judgment day for ex-NCA board members. President bans foreign travels over coronavirus.
You know, Gabon has also taken the same initiative.
There's been a case that's been recorded in the DRC.
That's the latest, yeah.
Let's go to the center spread. Goodies announces return to music, and according to this interaction, he had been involved in farming since he served some 13-year jail sentence and has been involved. He
actually didn't quite serve the 13. He got a reduced sentence.
Yeah, each sentence is always 9 months in the calendar year.
Yeah, but apart from that, he actually appealed that
and got a reduced
sentence.
Got
a reduced sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a parole kind of?
No.
Okay. Reduced sentence. All right, so we move on. It says Goodies announces return to music after prison, and
he's been out for a long while now.
Since 2008.
Yeah, except that he's been quiet.
12 years ago.
I listened to that interview. I thought it was refreshing hearing him. So he's been into farming, but he says he's coming back into music production.
Yes. As a producer. He was a big producer of Nana Kwame, Lord Kenya.
Yeah, there was VIP.
Yes.
There was Miss Bell on that label as well. Goodies, I mean, I think for a very long time was like the biggest. And he had some African, you know, like international artists even on the label.
Yeah, Tony Tatula, Two-Face, a number of them had.
He was huge.
Yes.
It was unbelievable when we heard that he had been arrested, involved in drugs. So
very unfortunate. All right, so we have to do, you have a number of cases you want to take a look at?
I wanted us to do myjoyonline.com if it's possible, or if we could just share some of the, particularly on the BBC. Well, we know that the health minister has tested. We're talking about the UK positive. You gave some details about that, but let's do myjoyonline.com. All right, so after the review, we'll bring you sports, and I guess one of the things that we'll be talking about, the Manchester City Arsenal game postponed as a precautionary measure. So coronavirus, you know, affecting a lot of sporting activities. So Gakope resident demand honorable resignation of DCU over murder of assemblyman. It's been 10 days already, if not 11, since you know, he was murdered. The assemblyman was murdered in his home. And old Papa's wish: I want to die on a mattress before I die. Oh. And this story, the UK Health Minister tests positive for coronavirus. Don't panic. Deputy Health Minister urges as Burkina Faso confirms coronavirus case. Victor Smith breaks silence on his dismissal as Rawlings' spokesperson. Education in Ghana needs serious attention, according to an NGO. 27 killed by alcohol poisoning in Iran, trying to protect themselves from coronavirus. virus. And then Ugandans arrested for giving fake coronavirus vaccine.
Oh,
a very good morning to you, Mr. Robert Coleman. Stay with us. We've got plenty of sport.
Did you do the thing about...
I did. Mr. Salifu Combat's message. Yes, I did. Stay with us. We've got sport coming your way. It's midweek, so we've got AM Business after sports.